The film opens with the story of a widow named Adele. Ever since her divorce, she now lives alone with her only son, Henry. They get by on what's left of Adele's savings, while her ex-husband has built a new life and barely cares about his own son anymore. To cheer up his often sad mother, Henry comes up with a sweet idea. He makes small coupons that can be redeemed for things like a massage, watching a movie together, or even dancing with her. His hope is to bring back a little of the joy his mom once had when she was with his father. Still, it's clear that Adele's emotional wounds haven't fully healed. The trauma of being abandoned still lingers.
I don't think losing my father broke my mother's heart, but rather losing love itself.
Mountain stream.
One day, Adele and Henry go to the supermarket to buy clothes. While Adele is picking out an outfit for Henry, he asks if he can look at the new comic book releases. Adele agrees, reminding him not to wander too far. While Henry is engrossed in a comic, a strange man with a stab wound in his stomach suddenly approaches him. Innocently, Henry points out that the man is injured, but the man says he knows and asks Henry for help treating his wound. He then asks who Henry is with, and Henry replies that he's there with his mom. Soon after, Henry brings the man over to Adele. Urgently, the man explains that he's hurt and needs help. He introduces himself as Frank. Naturally, Adele is startled and afraid to see her son with a stranger. But Frank doesn't leave her much choice, he insists on her help. Concerned for Henry's safety, Adele quickly pays for their groceries and takes Frank home with them.
Where do you want to go?
Your house.
On the way home, not a single word is spoken. Adele and Henry are clearly anxious, unsure of what to do with this injured stranger in their car.
An inmate at Stinchfield Prison who escaped earlier this morning.
Once they arrive home, a news report flashes on the TV, showing Frank's face. Frank then confesses that he just escaped from a prison hospital, where the police tried to operate on him. In other words, Frank is a fugitive. Adele and Henry become even more afraid and remain silent. Frank explains that he only needs a place to stay for one night because he sprained his leg jumping from the second floor while escaping. He promises he won't do anything to harm them, as long as they keep his whereabouts a secret. Hearing this, Adele reluctantly agrees to let him stay, but only if he can guarantee their safety. Frank says he can't offer any guarantees, but assures her that he's never hurt an innocent person. To make the situation appear like a kidnapping, so Adele won't be blamed if the police come.
I've never intentionally hurt anyone in my life.
Afterward, he starts washing some meat from the fridge, intending to cook. Seeing how skillful Frank is in the kitchen, they eat together, and Frank even feeds Adele, trying to show he's not the monster the media makes him out to be. That night, with things calm, Frank unties Adele, saying he couldn't bear to see her like that. He tells her and Henry to sleep in their own rooms, while he stays on the couch. The next morning, Frank has already made breakfast by the time Henry wakes up.
Breakfast?
While eating, Henry reads a newspaper article reporting that Frank is wanted by the police. Frank, noticing this, comments that the media is full of lies, only 10% truth and 90% exaggeration. Soon after, Adele joins them for breakfast. Frank then asks about the next train to Canada, but Adele doesn't know. After eating, Frank begins helping around the house, patching walls, fixing the car, and even teaching Henry how to properly play baseball. After a long day, Adele realizes that Frank may not be the bad man she thought he was. As a gesture of gratitude, she sews up Frank's torn pants. Frank notices a scar on Adele's leg and asks about it. She explains that she got it from falling during dance practice. Suddenly, there's a knock at the door. Frank quickly grabs Adele and tells Henry to lie, saying his mom isn't home. It turns out to be their neighbor, bringing over a bucket of peaches and asking about Adele. Henry says his mom is at the market. The neighbor warns them to be careful because a fugitive is on the loose in the area, then hands over the peaches. After the neighbor leaves, Henry tells Frank that the coast is clear. Frank, seeing that the peaches are overripe and will spoil soon, asks Adele if he can bake a pie with them. With her approval, Frank invites Adele and Henry to help, teaching them how to peel the fruit, make the dough, and measure ingredients. They bake a delicious pie and eat it together.
It's all about instinct. The whole thing.
It's clear that Frank and Adele are starting to fall in love. Frank is the kind of man Adele had always hoped for. Soon, more police are seen patrolling the neighborhood. Frank decides it's time to leave, just as he promised. But Adele asks him to stay a few more days while they figure out what to do next. Frank agrees.
They're not gonna stop looking, Adele.
You should stay.
The next day, Frank prepares breakfast again and continues doing chores, chopping wood, fixing stairs, changing Adele's flat tire, and cleaning the gutters. All of this makes Adele feel even more connected to him. That afternoon, Henry is sent to the usual grocery store. There, he meets a girl his age named Sarah. They chat briefly, and Henry comes home in high spirits. In his excitement, Henry forgets to lock the front door, and a neighbor walks in unexpectedly.
I need you to watch Barry!
Frank quickly tells Henry to act fast, and Adele greets the neighbor. She says she needs to leave town and asks Adele to watch her disabled son. Adele can't refuse and agrees to take care of him. Frank doesn't mind. In fact, he plays with the boy and shows great patience and kindness. He even teaches Adele how to play baseball properly.
We don't have any other options.
It's just,
I don't have any other options. Please.
Okay.
Thank you.
Look up on the bat, hands together. Knees bent. Okay, you ready? Your turn. Relax. Ready? There you go. There you go.
That night, they all watch TV together and see another news update about Frank still being on the run. Soon, the neighbor comes back to pick up her son. The boy tries to tell her that the fugitive is in Adele's house, but due to his condition, she doesn't understand and ends up scolding him.
Well, yes, I know. We're going. We're gonna watch television when we get home.
The next day, Henry meets Sarah again at school. They begin to like each other. Sarah confides that her mom kicks her out whenever her boyfriend comes over. She asks if Henry's mom is the same. Henry says his mom used to be sad all the time, but she seems happy now since meeting someone new.
Have charisma.
Maybe.
The following evening, Henry's biological father invites him to dinner with his new family. After dinner, he drives Henry home. When they arrive, Henry sees his mom dancing with Frank. Adele stops and tells Henry that they're planning to move to Canada and hopes he'll come with them. Henry agrees. He likes Canada too.
Might be a good place to start over, after your father left. We've decided to go together. What about the roadblocks?
I'm looking for a man traveling alone.
They won't be expecting a family.
A family.
They start packing their things, and Frank tells Henry not to bring all his toys because he'll buy new ones there. As they pack, Henry goes to say goodbye to Sarah. Meanwhile, Adele tells Frank why she divorced. Her husband was abusive because she was late having a child. After Henry was born, he cheated on her. Frank comforts her, saying he'll be the man who protects them forever. Frank then opens up about being framed by his own gang and sent to prison for several murders he didn't commit. They clean the house together, mopping floors and tidying up. Before leaving town, Henry stops by his father's house to leave a goodbye letter. On his way back, a police officer offers him a ride. At first, Henry refuses, but eventually gets in. Adele is shocked when she sees Henry arrive with a cop. The officer asks a few questions, but Adele answers calmly. He even helps them load their belongings. After the cop leaves, Frank says they need to leave immediately. But since they need cash, Adele and Henry go to the bank to withdraw her savings. When the teller asks why she's closing her account, Adele replies that they're moving to another town.
I just wanted to make sure you aren't experiencing any problems.
Everything's fine.
Some would even call a withdrawal like this a little suspicious. For us, having a person withdraw this much in cash.
Actually, we've packed up all the things. We're emptying our bank account and then gonna make a run for the border.
Of course you are. Well, come on, Mira, let's not keep our friends here waiting.
Back at home, Frank is surprised by another visit from their neighbor. With no time to hide, he pretends to be a handyman Adele hired. The neighbor seems to believe him, but Frank stays on edge.
I don't know, it sure looks like it.
Are you a friend?
Just a handyman. I'm just here to fix a few things.
Soon, Adele and Henry return, and they prepare to leave. Unfortunately, the house is now surrounded by police. The neighbor had reported Frank. Feeling cornered, Frank ties Adele up so she won't be accused of helping him, then turns himself in.
You're a fine boy, Henry. Don't be scared.
Officer, go slow. Yeah, you can hands up your head. Get on down. Your knees, do it now. Get down. Hands behind your head. All right, we got it. Move in.
Got the guy. Won't be able to do anything to you and your mom anymore.
Frank is sentenced to 10 years for escaping and another 15 for allegedly holding Adele hostage. Adele tries to testify on his behalf, but Frank is transferred to a distant prison. For years, Adele waits for him, still deeply in love. Meanwhile, Henry grows up and lives with his father. He starts dating Sarah and opens a pie restaurant using Frank's recipe. He and Frank keep in touch through letters.
I had always wondered who you would become and what you would look like. And there you were. And then, one day, I came across a familiar-looking pie. I'm proud of you. They're the best days of my life. I'm no longer young, but I have plenty of good health remaining. I am due to be released shortly. Most likely, your mother has remarried by now. But on the off chance that she might be alone, and I'd like to live much the same way we discussed that weekend, back when we thought we'd be a family.
25 years later, Frank is finally released. Adele, still waiting faithfully, reunites with him. They decide to live out the rest of their lives together. If you enjoyed this video, don't be shy, hit the like button, and if you disliked it, hit the dislike button twice just to be sure. You should watch the full movie. Thank you very much for watching.